You know that feeling when you have a question that just gets stuck in your head? Something you just have to figure out? We all get those. Well, in this explainer, we're going to talk about the amazing tool that helps us turn that nagging curiosity into real, solid knowledge. So let's dive right in.
You know, everything starts in a really simple place. At the root of every single discovery, every big idea, every breakthrough is just plain old curiosity.
We're just swimming in information these days, right? Opinions, hot takes, guesses, they're everywhere. The real challenge isn't just finding an answer, it's finding an answer you can actually rely on. So, how do we get from a simple gut feeling to a fact we can stand on?
Well, that is exactly where research comes into the picture. It's the system we've built to help us cut through all that noise and find out what's really going on.
Okay, I know, that sounds pretty academic, like something out of a textbook. But the words to really focus on here are systematic, collecting, and analyzing. This isn't just about Googling something. It's a careful, methodical process that's designed to be as unbiased as possible.
So, to put it another way, research is really just the engine that takes that raw curiosity we all have and channels it into an organized journey of discovery. It gives our questions a road to follow.
So, why do people actually do research? Well, it usually boils down to one of two big reasons. Either we just want to understand the world a little bit better, or we've got a specific problem that we need to fix, like right now.
And this brings us to the two main flavors of research, basic and applied. I like to think of it like this. Basic research is like being an explorer who lands on a new continent and just wants to see what's there, just for the sake of knowing. Applied research, on the other hand, is like drawing a treasure map to find a specific chest of gold on that continent. See the difference? Both are super important, they just have different goals. Basic research digs into these huge, foundational questions. You know, the kind of stuff that might not help you with your Wi-Fi tomorrow, but it completely pushes the boundaries of what we as humans know. It's the kind of work that lays the foundation for technologies we can't even dream of yet.
Now, look at these questions. They feel much more immediate, right? Applied research is all about making our lives better, safer, or more efficient, right here and now. This is where that foundational knowledge from basic research really gets put to work to create new medicines, better tech, and solutions to problems we see every single day.
Okay, so we've talked a bit about the why of research. Now let's get into the how. How do researchers actually go about finding the answers they're looking for?
Well, it depends on the question, really. They might take a few different paths. Sometimes they're just exploring, kind of dipping a toe in the water on a new topic. Other times, they're in descriptive mode, carefully documenting the what, where, and when. And then the real grand prize is often explanatory research, figuring out why something is happening and connecting all the dots.
I know, this is all a bit abstract, so let's use a simple example to make it real. Let's say we have a theory, an educated guess, that listening to music calms you down and lowers your blood pressure. So, how would we actually find out if that's true?
Well, we could go a couple of ways here. On one hand, there's the experimental approach. It's very hands-on. We'd set up a controlled test, maybe with 2 groups, and directly measure the effect. On the other hand, we could use a survey approach. We just observe what people are already doing and see if there's a correlation, a statistical link between listening to music and feeling good.
But hang on. Those methods are great for things that are happening right now. What if your question is about something that happened a long time ago? You can't exactly run an experiment on the past, right? So for that, you need a totally different but just as systematic toolkit.
Yeah, historical research is basically detective work. You start with a question, you gather your evidence, things like old diaries, official logs, reports, and then, and this is so important, you have to carefully evaluate all that stuff. Is it real? Is it biased? Then, you piece it all together to tell the most accurate story you possibly can. It's a really tough process for understanding how we got here.
So you might be thinking, okay, that's cool for scientists and historians, but why does any of this matter to me? Well, it matters because research is quite literally everywhere. It's shaping the world around us in ways we don't even see. I mean, just look at this list. Every single one of these fields depends on research to make big decisions. Governments use it to make policy. Hospitals use it to figure out treatments. TV networks use it to decide what shows you're going to binge watch next. Even your favorite brands use it to figure out what to sell you. It is the invisible engine of our world.
And this quote, I think, just hits the nail on the head. Research doesn't make risk disappear, but it changes it completely.
It lets us replace a wild guess with a calculated, informed decision. It's the difference between just stumbling around in the dark and walking down a path that's lit up by real evidence.
So, I'll just leave you with this. The world is absolutely full of questions. Now that you have a better idea of the framework for finding real answers, what are you going to set out to discover? And, maybe more importantly, how are you going to make sure the answer you find is one you can truly trust?